Okay, it's 8:30, so we're going to call the meeting to order, and we have an agenda in front of us, so we'll start right there. Any additions required to the agenda? Any additions to the agenda? Anybody have anything they're wanting to add? Seeing none, I would look for a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
I'll adopt the agenda as presented.
Okay, Councillor Kiever moves the agenda. All in favor? That's carried. Okay, you have in front of you the regular council minutes. They were distributed from March 13th, 2018. Any questions or comments? Any corrections needed? If not, again, I'd be looking for a motion to approve the minutes from the March 13th regular council meeting.
I'll make the motion to move or approve the minutes.
Okay, Councillor Christie has moved that we approve the minutes from the March 13th council meeting. So all in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. We get to jump right over a whole bunch of things. We do have a presentation at 9, but in the meantime, we'll jump down to 5.5, which is protective services and annual appointment of the fire guardians. So good morning, Deb.
Good morning, Council. I bring to you today the annual appointment of fire guardians. The Forest and Prairie Protection Act requires that each year the Council of a municipal district shall appoint for a term not exceeding 1 year with the effect from the beginning of April a sufficient number of fire guardians to enforce the act within the boundaries of the municipality. As per bylaw 1712, Council will appoint fire guardians to carry out the roles and responsibilities of that bylaw. These appointments have been recommended by each of the fire district departments to the CAO. Administration staff are able to issue the fire permits should a volunteer fire department member not be available, as listed in the motion. Communications, communicate with the Fire Management Committee and internally with customer service. And the recommended action is to appoint the fire guardians for the issuance of fire permits for the period of April 1st to March 31st as per the motion below. And you will see that under Kneehill County Administrative, the County Fire Chief has been added.
So the fire guardians for the different fire departments, those are suggested by those fire departments, like they come forward with the names for us. Okay, so any questions, any comments? If not, I guess we need a motion to appoint the fire guardians as designated on the request for decision.
I just have a quick question, Deb. Some have more than others. Is there a reason for that?
They just find that there's a big time commitment in order to do the fire permit, so some of them have just suggested more people. Linden did 154 permits last year, so it requires some time in order to call the people and approve it.
I'm willing to make the motion to approve as suggested, the fire guardians.
Jerry, did you have a comment?
No, I was just going to say that I was going to make the motion, but that's fine. The motion's been made, so.
Okay, thank you. So Councillor McGee has moved that we appoint the fire guardians as recommended. And so, all in favor? Okay, that's carried. Thank you. All right, we're moving right along. We're into new business and 2019 Canada Games host request. So, Mr. Hogan, please.
Thank you and good morning, Mr. Reeve and members of the council. 8.1 is a request for the 2019 Canada Winter Games, the host society of Red Deer. And we have received a request for sponsorship to the 2019 Canada Winter Games hosted by the city of Red Deer. And we received that here recently. The levels of sponsorship ranges from $5,000 to $250,000. The cost and source of funding, there are a possibility of two funding streams. The Recreational Community Arts and Cultural Events Policy 15.7 with the applicable GL code to which there's $9,750 available, and transfers to individual organizations with the appropriate GL code, which there's currently $99,000 available, and of course, Council always has the authority to amend the budget and any other amount that they would see fit. The link to the strategic plan, it would be thinking and acting regionally. You can see the attached letter request from the 29th Canada Winter Games Host Society in Red Deer, as we have never been asked to fund a Winter Games. There is no precedent for this council, so the recommended action would be council's decision, and council's options would be to approve the request, deny the request, or in any amount that they saw fit.
Okay, discussion, thoughts?
Has anyone seen any information on how many athletes from our area attend in the past?
Mr. Reeve, members of council, we have no information on how many local athletes would be attending. Mr. Reeve, members, I'd also suggest that they probably don't know who would be attending, as there is a program to qualify, and that probably won't happen for Winter Games until, I would suggest, even into the fall of this year.
Councillor Whitstock.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to move this for information because we do have a way to sponsor athletes if they do come from our community to these games. So I just want to get a motion out there to just to move it as information for now.
Okay, so we have a motion from Councillor Whitstock to just move to accept this as information for now. Any further discussion? Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to ask the question. All in favor of moving and just accepting this as information, please signify. Okay, that's carried. Request for sponsorship for the Winter Games is accepted for information. Thank you. All right, we're moving on to 8.2, 2018 parade season. So again, Mr. Hogan, please.
Thank you, Mr. Reeve and members of council. 8.2 is regarding the 2018 parade season. Looking out the window, it's hard to believe that we're in that time of year. However, every year council participates in local parades in the area. This year, the Linden Parade is June 2nd, Carbon is June 9th, Acme June 16th, Trochu July 2nd, and Three Hills July 14th. Hamlet of Torrington has not yet confirmed their dates. The Village of Linden is on the weekend that most councillors will be attending the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, the FCM conference in Halifax. Cost for this out of the 2018 budget, and the recommended actions that council authorize attendance to the listed parades, and council options are to authorize for attendance or to receive for information.
Okay, any comments or questions?
So in the past, we have used the county truck, is that correct? And also, who provides the candy?
Mr. Reed, members of the council, yes, we do provide one of the vehicles, either the Traverse or the truck with the wrap on it. There had been discussions many years ago as to how we would participate in parades, and the best alternative was to provide a wrap vehicle. Candy is provided by the county. The executive assistant orders all of the candy and will make sure that the vehicle is clean prior to typically the Friday before the parade, fueled up with the trunk full of goodies for the parade.
Any other comments, questions? Otherwise, we're looking for direction here. Mr. Whitstock?
I would move that we authorize council to participate in the parades, and I will attend the Acme parade. The Linden one, of course, I'm be at FCM, so it's not possible.
So we have a motion from Councillor Whitstock that we authorize attendance of council to participate in the parades, and he has said he would be willing to attend in Linden. So, Paul, did you say Acme's?
No, sorry, Acme's. I'll be in at the FCM for the Linden parade.
Yeah, sorry, that was my mistake, at Acme, right. We're all away at Linden, right? Or most of us.
I agree with Jerry that we should attend, should be out there, and I can attend Carbon.
I will attend Three Hills. And I always seem to get Linden.
I'll be away for Carbon, but I'm willing to join in on Three Hills because I'm sure some of our residents will be there as well.
I could do Carbon also if that's needed.
Could do Carbon as well, okay.
I'm going to be away for Trochu and probably not available for the other ones. I don't know. We'll see where our farming gets in the way.
Okay, I think I'm available for Trochu. I don't foresee myself being away then, so.
Mr. Chair and members of the council, if there is a parade that councilors are unable to attend, administration certainly will provide somebody. And for further your information, the peace officers do attend these as well, so there is Kneehill County representation no matter what happens. But if councilors are not able to attend with a wrap vehicle, somebody from administration, myself, or senior staff will certainly be there on behalf of the county.
Okay, so we have a motion to authorize attendance, and we have some clarity on who's going where. So shall we take a vote on the motion? All in favor? Okay, and that's carried. Thank you. All right, we're into 8.3, which is the first round of the community grants. And I'm going to make a suggestion here that we deal with these in two groups, and there's a reason for that. I just want to pull one of the community grant requests out because I'm going to have to recuse myself from that vote. So I'd like to pull the Trochu Baptist Church one out, and we'll deal with that one separate. When we get to that one and the conversation around that one, I'm going to recuse myself from that discussion. So the remainder of them, we'll deal with them as a block, and then the Trochu Baptist one, we'll deal with that separately, if that's okay. So Mr. Hogan, is that your...
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of council. 8.3 is the spring community grants to nonprofit organizations, policy 15-3. It's the spring round one. The first application deadline for the community grants to nonprofit organizations was in 2018, or for 2018 was on March 7th, 2018, and attached for your consideration are the applications that were received and vetted. The total amount requested for round one is $49,404.75. The Sunnyslope Community Association is requesting over $5,000, and as per 2.3 in policy 15-3, a delegation is scheduled for them at 9 a.m. to present their project to council. The amount of grant dollars allocated to the community grants to nonprofit organizations grant program for 2018 was $50,000 in the budget. The cost and source of funding are from the grants from community groups, GL code 97000-00-27750. And for engagement, recipients of the 2018 community grant to nonprofit organizations will be publicized on the Kneehill County website. All successful and unsuccessful recipients will be notified. In your attachments, you can see the community grant package, the policy, and the application summary form, and the recommended actions. That council review all applications and approve funding for selected projects by resolution. Council options are the council approve funding to the organizations or the council receive for information. And Mr. Chair and members of the council, as there is a delegation attending in 15 minutes, if be allowed to make the suggestion that potentially we should consider a break. I think it would be unfair to go into discussions if an organization has not had their opportunity to present to council.
Okay, so if council is in agreement with that, we'll take a recess for the next 14 minutes or so and give the Swalwell Community Center people a chance to appear and get ready for their presentation. So we are recessed. Community Association, and you're here to talk to us about your grant application, correct?
Yes.
Just to let you know that we are being videoed, and also Councillor Whitstock is on Skype or GoToMeeting, so he's video conferencing in. So if you, when you're talking with us, if you just would use your microphone, okay?
Okay.
We'll introduce ourselves, and then we'll ask you to introduce yourselves. So Councillor Whitstock, do you want to start with the introductions?
Morning, gentlemen. Jerry Whitstock.
Good morning.
Morning, Jim Hugo.
Morning, Debbie Penna.
Good morning. Wade Christie.
Al Hogan, County Manager.
Ken King.
Glenn Keever.
Faye McGee.
David Page.
Good morning, Don Kimmel.
Okay, gentlemen, we're prepared to hear from you, so go ahead with your presentation if you wish. Just if you want to describe what your project is and kind of give us a bit of background on what it is you're looking for.
We're redoing our floor. We have started just because the amount of bookings we have during the summer and just all year, the time we need to do it was in the middle of January, and even still we had to put off people who wanted to rent the hall because of it. We aren't completely done yet, and so we are just requesting $10,814.75 for the cost of the flooring in our hall.
So your project is currently underway?
Yes.
And you're doing the subfloor as well as flooring on top of that? What's the project?
Yes, we definitely had to redo subfloor just because it is an old hall, so there was a lot of work needed to be done to reinforce and stop the squeaking and everything with the floor, and then putting a good industrial laminate down.
So council, any questions from council?
How old is your hall?
I'm 1905. And 2010.
Any other information needed by council? Anybody have any other questions?
So you're using local contractors and sweat equity, I guess, is what you put in your application here?
Yes.
Okay, is there any other further information you'd like to provide us with to sway us one way or the other?
Just that I'm pretty sure we are the most rented out hall in this county. Like every single weekend that the weather is nice, someone is in that hall, and it is only increasing. Like more and more people want it, and we've done lots of renovations, and everybody loves it, and it just seems to add to how much people want to rent that hall. We don't charge a whole lot because we wanted to keep it open and just an easy access for our families and reunions and whatever to come, and we do have a lot of community involvement with keeping the yard cleaned and mowed and doing a lot of the renovations and doing as much of the work as we can. And like the last time I can see that we have asked you guys for anything was back in 2009. And other than that, we take care of dumping our own dumpster.
Great, thank you. Any other questions or requests for information? Anybody have anything else they'd like to add?
Just on the application, I See, the number of volunteers involved is 10, and the number of volunteer hours for this job is 100. Being one of the volunteers that worked the one Saturday, the 100 hours is a little low on volunteer work.
The hall also is totally wheelchair accessible, so everybody can get in and use it.
Okay, thank you. You got Glenn to volunteer?
Yep. I don't know how I wasn't involved in that part.
Okay, anything else you'd like to add? Otherwise, thank you. And I know it doesn't seem like you're here for long, but certainly appreciate the fact, understand that, and thank you for coming if there's nothing else you need to add. So,
Thank you very much.
okay.
Thank you.
All right, so there's the Sunnyslope Hall. And I guess we'll go on to the others with the exclusion of the Troche Baptist Church. So, Mr. Hogan, if you want to just kind of walk us through those, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of council. As you just heard from the Sunnyslope Association, they are the first one on the list. The Sunnyslope Community Association project amount is $20,118.40. The amount requested, $10,814.75 to replace and install a new floor in the subfloor. Our information has that they received the last grant in 2011 for $2,000 for new entrance, roof cover, and eaves troughs. So that's the first one. Second one is the Three Hills Healthcare Center Auxiliary Society here in Three Hills. The project amount is $1,200. They're asking for $975, and that is to purchase 3 portable blood pressure machines for home use. They have received money in 2012 for $1,200 for high chairs for hip surgery, 2013 for $880 for wheelchairs, 2015 for $859 for home care equipment, 2016 for $900 for portable MacView diagnostic set, and 2017 community grant for $950 for portable blood pressure machines. Skipping past the Troche Baptist Youth request and to the Troche District Ag Society. The project amount is $24,000. The amount requested is $5,000, and they're looking for help to install chutes for a mini rodeo. The Troche District Arboretum is the next one. $5,000 is the project amount. $4,000 is the request to purchase plants for the Arboretum. The one question raised by administration on this: is this an operational or non-operational expense? The eligibility is for capital purchases and not operational purchases. So that's a question that the council will have to grapple with. In 2010, they received community grant for LED light bulbs for $2,000. In 2012, community grant for $2,500 to assist with the new building. And in 2014, community grant $5,000 to purchase flowers. The Three Hills Figure Skating Club is the number 6. Project amount $2,500. They're requesting $2,500 to train a coach for can skate. In 2015, they received $2,960 for skating equipment. And the same question as the previous: is this an operational or non-operational expense? The eligibility in the policy under 1.1 in the policy. The Hesketh Community Hall has a project valued $9,600. They're looking for $4,800. Half of that's to replace and repair the kitchen ceiling. 2014, they received $5,000 to renovate the hall, and in 2016, they received $5,000 to install metal siding. Kneehill Housing Corporation, Three Hills here, project amount $2,250. They're looking for $2,250 to replace old window coverings at the seniors building in a common area. Administration believes this is a non-eligible request as they receive support from the county through the annual requisition. And in 2018, our requisition was $39,772. The number 9 is the Seniors Outreach Program in Three Hills. The project amount is $5,353. The amount requested was $4,765 to purchase 2 laptops and 2 cell phones. Again, the administration has made a comment that we believe it's non-eligible. It receives support from the county through our annual requisition to FCS, and FCSS then provides in excess of $100,000 annually to the seniors program. In 2010, the community grant was $350 for new projector. 2012, community grant for $840 for new phones. In 2012, community grant for $502 for printers. In 2015, a community grant for $2,600 volunteer a week. In 2015, community grant for $700 for new printers. And in 2017, a council resolution for $4,500 for bus signage. Number 10 is the Kneehill Area Wellness Center Society in Torrington. Project amount 3710, request 2,500 to create a book about Torrington, a U-Walk program, and a little library site in Torrington. And in 2011, they received $1,644 for shelving and internet for the library. 2015, $1,500. 2016, $1,500. 2017, $1,500. And 2017 again for $1,000. So 2017 was a total of $2,500. The Trochu Golf and Country Club is next on the list. Project valued at $5,061, looking for $5,000 to replace 2 shelters. The eligibility in the policy under 1.3, the Trochu Golf and Country Club is a town-owned facility leased to the golf course organization. 2013, the community grant of $3,500 for gravel parking lot, and in 2015, community grant for $5,000 snack shack and 2 storm shelters. Number 12, Kneehill Valley Constituency, Alberta Women's Institute, project amount $2,405. $1,500 is the request. Assist in the cost for the April 27-28 Women's Institute Conference. This group could be eligible under policy 15-7, Recreation, Community, Arts, and Cultural Events. We're not clear that it's a community grant to a nonprofit organization. And number 13, the final one is the Three Hills Area Food Bank. Their project amount $4725, requesting $4,000 and purchase a new scrubber to maintain floor at the food bank. And they last received a grant in 2013 for $500 to purchase a pallet jack.
Okay, so there you have it. Quite a comprehensive list with some notes from administration related to some of them. What's your wish? How do you want to proceed from here? Do you want to discuss them individually? Do you want to go around and say yes, no? How do you want to proceed? I'm looking for some direction from you as a council.
I feel it'd be best if we did one at a time.
So maybe the suggestion would be we have the conversation about them individually, and then we make a single motion for the ones that we wish to approve. Would that be okay? So if we say yes, in the end we'll make a motion to say we're approving XYZ associations for funding, and then by default that means the others will not be funded. Is that acceptable? That works out? Okay. All right, so let's begin at the top then. So comments regarding the Sunnyslope Community Association, and just what's your wishes?
In the past, we've just gone around individually, and you put a number to what you want to give for that one, and then. We've done that for years. Huh? We haven't done that for years.
My suggestion would, if we're going to go around and individually say what we think of them, it's either a yes or a no. And if you have rationale or a question around why you might say that, then rather than try to piecemeal the amounts. So, for instance, on the Sunnyslope, it's a hall in Kneehill County. I strongly feel, yeah, and so my answer would be yes. And so that's a for example. If that's what you wish to do, if you'd rather have a more general discussion around it, it's really up to you. So I'm looking for your direction. You tell me what you want to do. I heard Faye say she wants to have a discussion around them individually. So Faye, you want to start on the Sunnyslope Community Center?
Sure, I will start. I am in full favor of supporting Sunnyslope Community Association request.
Mr. Keever?
Good to go.
Councillor Whitstock?
Yep, 10,814.75.
Councillor Hugo?
I agree, 10,814.75.
Councillor Penner?
I agree 100%. I love seeing our little rural communities utilized, and it's awesome.
And Councillor Christie?
I'm in favor, and I like the community support that it has. It needs to be supported.
Okay, so that's the Sunnyslope Community Association. All right, then we're on to Three Hills Healthcare Center Auxiliary Society, and they're requesting funding in the amount of $975, and they are looking to purchase 3 portable blood pressure machines for home care. So we'll start again. This time it's Councillor Keever.
Yeah, I'm okay with this.
Councillor Whitstock?
Good to go, 975.
Councillor Hugo?
Yeah, I agree, 100%, 975.
Okay, Councillor Penner?
100%, 975.
I support it as long as they're not coming to put one on me.
Okay, and Councillor
And yes,
McGee.
I do support it 100%.
Okay, and my opinion would be yes as well. So that takes care of the Three Hills Healthcare Society. Jumping down to Trochu and District Ag Society, looking to install chutes for a mini rodeo. Their funding request is to the tune of $5,000. So I guess I'll start with me this time. I would be a yes. Councillor Whitstock?
Yes, I agree. They've got quite a bit of their own money put into this project.
Councillor Hugo?
Would they be used, would we know if they'd be used more than just once for the mini rodeo, or is this a one-time event every year?
I know they use their fairgrounds and the arena a number of times. I don't know specifically around the rodeo. I know they have the rodeo July long weekend, but how many times they'd use it, I'm not sure. Does administration have any other information?
Mr. Chair, members of the council, we're not aware of what the annual usage would be, obviously at the mini rodeo, but other than that, we have no information.
So Jim, what's your wishes?
Yeah, $5,000, yeah, I think it's to a good cause, and they do quite a bit of events during the year.
Councillor Penner?
5,000.
Mr. Christie?
No, I agree, and I think it's work in the making so that it'll get used more as they develop more.
Councillor McGee?
I agree.
And Councillor
Good to go.
Keever. All right, so that takes care of the Trochu and District Ag Society. Trochu and District Arboretum. This is a request for $4,000 to purchase plants. Did they specify whether those were annual or otherwise?
They specified that they were annual from the application form.
This is actually an application to purchase annual plants for use in the Arboretum. So, Councillor Whitstock, we'll let you kick this one off.
I'd said 0.
Councillor Hugo?
Can you skip me until I get ahead and read?
Okay, Councillor Penner?
It's a tough one, and I know the Arboretum is supported well. For the reason that they're asking, I'd have to say 0.
Okay, Councillor Christie?
Yeah, I'd like to know more information, but it's a well-used facility, but 5,000 is a big chunk, so I'd say no at this point.
Councillor McGee?
Yeah, I'm also no. I don't understand this to be an eligible based on the fact that it's not a capital purchase in my definition of one anyhow.
Okay, so basically that kills it because that's 4 no's, but I'm interested, Councillor Keever.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Took you and Jim off the hook, eh? And myself, I guess. All right. Moving on to the Three Hills Figure Skating Club. And Councillor Hugo, you actually get to weigh in first. They're requesting $2,500 of $2,500 to hire a figure skating coach, to train, actually not even to hire, just to train a coach. So the question would be is, operational or non-operational, is it eligible, and are we willing to support or fund this?
I'm a little unclear. Would this be under the operational or non-operational to train a coach? I'm not exactly sure how they're gonna, like the 2,500, do they send him away, or is he gonna be here forever, or, you know, I'm unclear on that one.
Mr. Chair and members of council, if I could just, 1.1D in the eligibility is our project-based initiatives and not operational expenditures. Project should enhance or be integral part of an ongoing program. That is the eligibility requirement. Just for some discussion, if we were training staff, for example, at the county, that would be an operational. Most organizations training is an operational expense. However, this is not our type of organization, so I would leave that to council for decision. But that's 1.1D is the eligibility requirement for this request.
Okay, so I guess we come to you, Councillor Hugo. Yes, no?
Do we know how many members are actually in the Three Hills Figure Skating Club?
No, we do not.
Well, I believe it's an operational that, in order to continue, not really too sure what can skate is. Does anybody know the definition of can skate?
It's the badge program that they use for figure skating. It's comparable to a badge system for swimming lessons.
So what is your wish?
I think, yeah, I'd like the 2,500 to train the coach.
Councillor Penner.
This is a tough one. Yes, you need good coaches for the program to survive. I would be in favor of giving them 1,500.
Okay, Councillor Christie.
I guess that was my thought, was to looking at the $2,960 was what we gave them last time, but the training program looks like that's the whole thing. So I'm thinking 1,500.
Sorry, go ahead, Mr. Hogan.
Mr. Chair, members of council, the oftentimes and potentially the Reeve could weigh in on this. Oftentimes the request is what's required, and by subtracting an amount, then the organization can't move ahead anyway, because they're asking for what they need. So by choosing a different amount, you are potentially killing the project or saying no to it anyway. So I'll let the Reeve potentially weigh into to the history as to how grants have been handed out and delivered to the organizations. But my fear is if you play with the amounts, is then you end up killing a project. It's just another way to say no by not giving them what they require.
Councillor Whitstock.
Thank you, Mr. Hogan. I agree with you. We either have to fund, as far as I'm concerned, we either have to fund the full amount or not fund any of it. That being said, I'm not willing to fund any of it. They're not willing to fund any of it either. So my answer to this one would be no.
Okay, and on their application, if you read the application, they do say if they do not get the funding, it will not go ahead. So they're looking for the full 2,500. So either it's all or nothing. So do you want to go back to your initial comments, Councillor Penner?
Yes, I guess I will say no to this one.
Councillor Christie.
Yeah, no, I would say no. And I guess my concern is the lack of support from the group.
Okay, Councillor McGee.
No.
Okay, that's 4 no's, so that basically takes this one off the table. So that's a no to that one. Moving on, we're at the Hesketh Community Hall. They're looking to do some work in their kitchen. Total project amount is $9,600. They're requesting $4,800 from us. And so I guess we are at Councillor Penner. What is your wish?
I think it's great that people have come forward to improve and keep our little community halls viable, and I'm all for the full amount.
Yeah, no, I agree to support this one for sure.
Councillor McGee?
I support.
Councillor Keever?
No, I don't think I can go with this one.
Councillor Whitsock?
I support it.
Councillor Hugo?
I support this one.
I guess that's 5 yeses, so I guess according to the way we've been proceeding, that makes this agreed to. So moving on then, we're talking Kneehill Housing. They're requesting $2,250 of a $2,250 project. Looking to replace old window coverings at the seniors building in a common area. And according to administration, this one would probably fall into a non-eligible request. So, Councillor Christie, you get to weigh in first on this one.
Is there any other stream of funding that they could get? Probably not from us.
Well, they are getting funding from us through our requisition, right? Like we're paying them approximately 40 grand through our requisition. So, Mr. Hogan, you want to?
Mr. Chair, under the policy 15-31.3, the following are not eligible for funding under this policy: A, municipalities, individual persons, programs, events, activities that receive support from the county through other programs or policies, with the exception of the Rural Community Hall. So that right off the bat, we provide $40,000 in the requisition, and projects cannot enhance or create a fully owned municipal asset. The buildings, the Kneehill housing is owned by the province. That is a provincial building. And so we're essentially providing money back to the province.
Okay.
With that clarification, I'd say no.
Faye?
No.
Councillor Keever?
No.
Councillor Whitstock?
No.
Okay, that's 4 no's, so that one's off the table. Thank you. Seniors Outreach Program, they have a $5,300 project, of which they're requesting approximately $4,765 from us. Again, this is one of those that falls into the non-eligible, I think, based on the same parameters as the previous one. So I guess we'll start with myself, and my answer would be, for those reasons, no. Councillor McGee?
No.
Councillor Keever?
No.
Councillor Whitstock?
No.
All right, we have 4 no's, so that's off. All right, Kneehill Area Wellness Center Society, based in Torrington. They're looking to create a book about Torrington, a U-Walk program, and a little library site in Torrington. They're requesting $2,500 of a $3,710 project. You see our previous funding to them in the past. And so what is your wishes?
Could I get clarification from administration? In my mind, this is 3 projects. And with it being 3, does that affect how we look at this application?
Mr. Chair and members of council, the policy is somewhat vague on, in the policy it uses the word project and projects throughout the policy. So I would, even under 1.3, the following are not eligible, we use the word projects and programs and project and program. So in a perfect world, I would probably suggest that it would be a single project. However, because there is a limit of a minimum funding of $500, it might be that some organizations lump in 2 or 3 projects to increase the level to pass that $500 mark. It was not flagged when it was vetted, when the application was vetted through administration. So I think it's, I would probably argue that it's an eligible, even though it's 2 or 3 things combined into one.
Thank you.
Okay, any further conversation required, or Councillor McGee, what is your wish?
No.
Councillor Keever?
No.
Councillor Whitstock?
I would vote no. We funded the history book just a couple of years ago. I do believe there is a library in Torrington. No.
Councillor Hugo?
No as well.
Okay, that gives us 4 no's, so this one is off the books. Okay, we're on to Trochu Golf and Country Club. They have a $5,061 project, of which they are requesting $5,000. Now, is that, I'll keep my comments to myself. Councillor Whitstock, I'm going to give you the privilege of beginning the conversation on this one.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I would say no, there is not enough buy-in from the group.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Hugo.
I say no as well.
Councillor Penner.
No.
Councillor Christie.
Yeah, I'd say no. If they was looking for half, I might, but not the full amount.
Okay, again, we have our 4 no's, so that takes that one off the books as well. All right, we're moving on to the Kneehill Valley Constituency, Alberta Women's Institute. They're looking for $1,500 towards their April Women's Institute conference. And again, $2,400 project, looking for our support of $1,500. So, Councillor Keever, I'm gonna let you start this one.
I don't know, this is almost prejudice, isn't it? You know, I mean, it's only for women. But
It's a bake sale you want to go to because it's good.
I think it's a one-time thing, and so, you know, I mean, they only do it once a year, and I think they have a pretty good turnout at it. So I'm going to go yes.
Wasn't sure where you're going with that, but okay. I think I would be also in support of this, and so we'll go to Councillor Hugo. I guess you're next.
Well, Glenn, it does says men and women are welcome on the handwritten note, so I guess you could go. I think it, from reading in it, yeah, it looks good. I agree with it, the $1,500.
Councillor Whitstock.
I'm going to have to say no. They are eligible under a different policy program that we have, so no.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Penner.
Can I just get a little bit more clarification, policy 15.7, Mr. Hogan?
Mr. Chair, members of the council, if the executive assistant could pull up 15.7 for us, please. Mr. Chair, members of the council, 15.7 is on the screen in front of you. The purpose of 15.7, grant scholarships, board donations to establish guidelines for council to address requests from individuals and organizations for sponsorship of recreation, community, arts, and cultural events not covered by other grants, scholarships, awards, or donations. Under the guidelines, funding allotment 1.1, the county shall support this policy through the annual budget, 10,000 in there, and I think I don't think it's been used much this year so far. Eligibility, individuals, organizations requesting scholarship for recreation, community, arts, cultural events not covered by other grants, and to assist with the operating expenses and other costs associated with hosting an event. Disbursement of funds, 3.1, 3.2, and then reporting. Council will provide with a copy of the approved letter for each recipient in the council information package. If it's council's wish, we could certainly, if council wishes to approve the project, council could then decide whether you would like to continue it under 15.3 or under 15.7. Either one would be fine. You could do either one.
So it would be appropriate for us to move this to the funding 15.7 as opposed to leave it here?
It would not be inappropriate.
Wait, Mr. Christie, do you have a comment?
Do we need a motion to move it, or do they have to reapply, or what's the procedure?
Mr. Chair, members of council, I would suggest just the motion of council saying approve it under policy 15.7 as opposed to policy 15.3 would be appropriate.
So, Mr. Whitstock, go ahead.
Yes, I would be in favor of doing that. Because this recreation program that we have, or not recreation, but this program that we're dealing with here in 15.3, it is fairly well subscribed to, and I would rather fund this one through a different program and leave some money here for the second round.
Okay, so what is the wish of council?
I move that we move this from 15.3 to 15.7.
Okay, I think that's appropriate. Any further discussion? If not, we have a motion by Councillor Hugo that we move the request from the Kneehill Valley constituency of the Women's Institute into policy 15.7, recreation, community, arts, and cultural events, and consider it there. Procedurally, how are we doing, Al?
Mr. Chair, members of council, the only clarification we'd require, that motion will move it to 15.7, but will not approve it. Okay.
So what we're doing right now is moving it, okay? And then we'll have a conversation about what we do from there. Understood? Okay. All in favor of the motion to move this one, please. And that's carried unanimously. Thank you. Okay, now I'm going to suggest we postpone the consideration of this one till after we're done with the community grants to nonprofit organizations, and we'll come back to that one in our agenda. Okay, so we've moved it. We'll come back to it as soon as we're done the further discussion. Everyone okay with that? Okay, so then we're moving on to the Three Hills Area Food Bank Society. So their request is for $4,000 from a $4,725 project. And what they're doing is purchasing a new floor scrubber to maintain the floor at the food bank. Again, what is your wish? Councillor Penner, I think I'm going to let you kick this one off.
The food bank is very valuable. Are we getting requests from all the food banks at different times of the year?
Mr. Hogan, do you have any information on that on our behalf?
Mr. Chair, members of council, the only information I have is that the Three Hills Food Bank fills hampers for Torrington, Carbon, Swalwell, and acreage and rural, as well as the town of Three Hills. So it is more than just the town of Three Hills. It's a significant regional area.
I can add to that. Been active with that group. They are excellent at supporting all those other food banks. They're kind of like the hub, bringing in some of the larger bulk stuff and then distributing it out to the other food banks. So it really uses the whole county quite well.
Thank you for the clarification. I'd be in favor.
Thank you, Councillor Penner. Councillor Christie.
I'd be in favor of supporting that one.
Councillor McGee.
Yes, I'm in favor.
Councillor Keever.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that gives us 4 positives, so that effectively carries that. So thank you for your contributions to the discussion. So we're going to need a motion that approves the following organizations for grant funding: Sunnyslope Community Association, Three Hills Healthcare Center Auxiliary Society, Trochu and District Ag Society, Hesketh Community Hall, and the Three Hills Area Food Bank Society. I got them all? So I'm looking for a motion to approve those organizations under the community grants to nonprofit organizations. So under policy 15.3, and so we're looking for a motion to that effect.
I so move.
Councillor McGee has moved. Carolyn, do you want to just run us through the list again? Oh, there it is. Oh. Is your mic working?
Sorry. The first funding is the Sunnyslope Community Association for $10,814.75. The Three Hills Healthcare Center Auxiliary Society for $975. Trochu and District Ag Society for $5,000. Hesketh Community Hall for $4,800. And the Three Hills Area Food Bank Society for $4,000. And that's a total of round one funding of $25,589.75. And the balance for round two will be $24,410.25.
Okay, so everyone's clear on the outcome and what the motion says. Any further discussion required? If not, I'm going to ask the question. All in favor? And that's carried unanimously. Okay, we have one that we did not talk about in that process, and at this point I have to recuse myself, so I am going to appoint Councillor Christie as a temporary chair, and you as a council are going to elect a chair to have conversation around the application received by the Trochu Baptist Youth. Mr. Hogan.
Mr. Chair, members of council, just technical, as Deputy Reeve King is recusing himself, under Robert's Rules of Order, typically the chair would be held by the Reeve. The Reeve is Skyping in electronically, which under our procedural bylaw makes him ineligible to hold a chair. In this particular case, because Deputy Reeve King is recusing himself, Robert's Rules of Order indicate that the Deputy Reeve or the chair would then designate a chair to preside over the election of the chair, who would then take over that particular resolution item. So in this case, Deputy Reeve King has designated Councillor Christie to hold the chair to oversee the election of the chair to deal with the final item on the community grants. So with that, the chair, Councillor Christie, is currently in the chair.
That sounds complicated to me, but I guess the floor is open for nominations for a chair for the next discussion.
I nominate Wade to chair this portion of the meeting.
Any further nominations? Any further nominations? Can I have a motion to cease nominations? I guess I'm the chair then. Is that what you're telling me?
You're the chair by acclamation, Mr. Chair.
There you go. Back to the Baptist Fellowship's request. Jerry, would you like to comment on that first?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, because this community grants program is subscribed to by a number of people, and we do have an eligible youth sponsorship program to send these young adults to Oregon, I would say I have to say no and move it to the youth sponsorship program.
Okay, Faye?
I agree with Woodstock, excuse me.
Glenn?
I'll agree too, although they're getting a little lesser amount, but it's not like they're getting zero.
Okay. Jim?
I agree with Jerry and Faye and Glenn that we move this to 1510, the youth sponsorship policy.
Can we get clarification?
Mr. Chair, members of the council, there is no motion on the floor to move it. Right now, it's just a yes or no. So if council is interested in moving it to 1510, similar to the women's constituency, a motion to move it to 1510, and if the executive assistant could pull up 1510, please, for council to take a look at.
So you need a motion, right? I move, excuse me, I can't speak. I would like to make the motion to move this application into the 1510 youth sponsorship.
There's a motion on the floor. Any more discussion? Can we have a vote, please? All in favor? That would be carried. So now we need a motion to approve it or not?
Mr. Chair, members of council, as that's the last one for the community grants, I would suggest that the community grants is probably completed, and then council could deal with the motion for the 15.7 and then the motion for 15.10. And I do think council would be well advised to review 15.10. 15.10 has some criteria and some different methods of funding which would be impactful on this program.
So as chair, do we want to deal with that with Ken's out now, or do we want to bring him back in? And
Mr. Chair, members of council, as the Deputy Reeve has recused himself, it's probably appropriate to deal with it now as opposed to going through the other program again.
Okay, so we're going to review 15.10 at this point?
Yes, Mr. Chair, members of council, 15.10 is to establish policy defining youth event sponsorship by Kneehill County. And council recognizes the importance of supporting youth activity, which provides local youth the opportunity to participate in programs which involve travel to other parts of the province, country, or world for sporting, cultural, education programs, exchanges, and events. This does not include summer camps, summer schools, or summer programs. The amount and availability of grants will be determined by council at the annual budget deliberations and shall be accounted through a particular GL code. The policy shall apply to all students aged 19 or younger residing in the municipality of Kneehill County, including the urban centers. Applications can be made at any time before the event. Applications made 30 days after the event will not be accepted. All applications for youth sponsorship will be submitted to the county in writing outlining the following, and you can see so the CAO or designate will determine the awarding of sponsorship based on the following amounts: 100 per individual, 200 per individual for national programs, 400 per individual for international programs, 900 maximum per team. And this option is exclusively for teams that are located within Kneehill County traveling to a provincial, national, international event, and a resolution from council authorizing sponsorship will need to be made to teams residing outside Kneehill County boundaries. You scroll down, please, Carolyn. Immediate family members of council and staff will enjoy the same benefits of this policy, and the maximum of any sponsorship will be the application of 1 per individual per year. So, as the note from administration in the in the application is, this would make per team, this would make the Trochu Baptist Youth Group eligible for $900 per team, for $900 out of the $1,300 requested.
Are there any further questions?
I guess it says for youth 19 years and younger, but I'm wondering if the adults that are attending are just the drivers, and I'm not sure if we need some more information.
Mr. Members of Council, Mr. Chair and members of Council, it's not uncommon when these grants are handed out to teams for use that there are typically adults attending, either as chaperones or drivers or supervisors, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't think, from the eligibility criteria, I don't think that would be exclusionary.
Jerry, what have you got a comment?
I think what we probably would be the best way to do this would be to advise them that they did not receive any funding under our community grants program, but to submit an application for the youth scholarship program granting policy and let them submit again.
Okay, any other questions? Clarifications? What are your wishes at this point then?
I guess I should make that a motion. I would move that we inform the Trochu Baptist Youth that their application was denied under our community grants application, and to have them resubmit an application for the youth scholarship policy.
We have a motion on the floor.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah. So we already have a motion from Councillor McGee to move it to the 15-10 youth sponsorship funding. So maybe, and that's been carried. So at this point, we have now a motion that says pretty much the same thing. And we can advise without a motion that they reapply.
Okay, sorry, brain dead for a second.
Mr. Chair and members of council, that motion has already passed. If there was any further discussion on the Trochu Baptist youth application, right now the way that that was a carried motion is the way that stands. There would be no funding, and we would be informing them that they would need to now reapply under that funding stream. So there is, if that's council's wish, there is no need for a further motion. If you would like to fund them now based on their current application, that would require a motion.
Yes. So now that we've moved this to 15-10, I guess we need a motion to deny the funding as it was presented. Is that right?
Mr. Reed, members of council, actually, no, I don't think you need any motion. The community grants already went through. We've moved that to that funding stream. It would now be just a matter of administration informing the Trochu Youth Baptist that we've moved their application, and if they could just reapply under that program, that's all that would be required now. Otherwise, we could be finished now.
I move that we adjourn this part of the meeting because it's so simple, and call Deputy Reeve King back in.
did you deal with the, no, not that one, sorry.
No, we're waiting on the.
Okay, we're, I guess, technically still in new business, and we're going to go back to the Kneehill Valley Women's Institute and discuss their application under policy 15.7. So can we just have, again, quick refresher on the 15.7 and then consider their application for $1,500? So the way I read policy 15.7 says individuals or organizations requesting sponsorship for recreation, community arts, and cultural events are qualified here, and they are to assist with operating expenses and other costs associated with hosting an event. So they fall in this area of funding. So what is the wish of council?
I'll make a motion that we approve the women's wellness application under the 15.7 policy.
Okay, so the Women's Institute motion to approve the request for $1,500 by Councillor Christie under policy 15.7. Any further discussion? Mr. Hogan.
Mr. Chair, members of the council, the motion that the executive assistant is recording is slightly different in wording than what the mover moved. Could we have clarification from the mover as to whether that's is their motion?
It looks good to me.
Okay, so the motion is Councillor Christie moved to approve sponsorship to the Kneehill Valley constituency of the Alberta Women's Institute with the funding to come from policy 15.7, which is recreation, community, arts, and cultural events in the amount of $1,500. That everyone's understanding? Okay, I'm going to ask the question. Those in favor? That's carried, unanimous. Thank you. Okay, that concludes the new business portion of our meeting, and we move on to council and committee reports, and there's a couple of items from there. So Mr. Hogan, please.
Mr. Chair, members of council, you can see the minutes from the March 14th Kneehill Regional Doctor Recruitment and Retention Task Force. The Reeve was in attendance. Does the Reeve have anything he'd like to add to that meeting?
The essence of the meeting is captured in the minutes. There is going to be a Doctor Appreciation Barbecue held at Anderson Park. I do believe it's on June the 7th. Just register if you'd like to attend. And there was a discussion item about scholarships, but there's going to have to be more information brought forward before that can even be discussed. And it's looking like there are some doctors that are possibly interested in joining at the clinic, but at this time, no one has committed.
Okay, thank you, Reeve Whitstock. And then we also have the Drumheller RCMP stats.
I move that we receive the reports as presented.
Okay, so Councillor McGee has moved the council receive the council and committee reports as presented. All in favor? And that's carried. Just to follow up, Councillor Whitstock, you said that the barbecue, Doctor Appreciation Barbecue was on June 7th. Is the normal process that any of the councillors on council can attend?
Mr. Chair, members of council, if anyone's interested in attending, a council motion to approve attendance would be required.
There usually is invites submitted to the county.
Okay, so at this point, we could just sit and wait for that invitation. We have a fair bit of time, so if that's okay with everyone, we'll leave it there. All right, we'll leave the discussion of snow in June till June, and we'll deal with the council follow-up action list. So you have the follow-up action list has been presented, and the only thing that's not completed on that list is actually not completed because we haven't reached the date of April the 10th yet. So for your information,
I'll move that the council receive the March 27th, 18 council follow-up action list as presented for information.
Councillor Penner has moved that council receive the March 27th council follow-up action list as it's presented and for information. All in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. Okay, we do not have any in-camera materials to deal with today. So we're basically at the point of time where we're looking for a motion to adjourn. And I guess that's me, I could do that, right? So the council is adjourned. Now, as previously discussed, yeah, let's take a break. It's 10 o'clock, so let's take a 10-minute break and we'll come back.